take it with you. Bye-bye. Yo, come on. Throw the roof, my nigga. Yo, ain't no foul? Damn. Fucking me up top. Yes. Oh, the party? Come on, baby. Well, technically, you got an excuse. Huh? How you find that out? But Roz knew you was sick, right? I'm sorry, man.
Alright, we back at episode 9, Balling with the Guru, the show, man. The spin the wheel episode, man. We spin the wheel, whatever division pop up, we get at it. Do not take anything personal, man. We're not here to hurt your feelings. We're here to hopefully give you critique, critique that gives you an opportunity to see things from somebody else's eyes. Or maybe you might not be doing the right thing, or you might think we're wrong and doing the right things. However you want to do it, just know this: we're here to talk shit about what you're doing. If you're doing it bad, if you're doing it good, we're gonna praise it. Simple as that. Alright, so I think the first segment of this was pretty solid. We tore up the NFC North, and we came out on top thinking that the Lions had the best fucking team in that division, and for whatever reason the game has been disconnecting me. So y'all gonna have to bear with me for a second, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come out this whole shit. I wonder if nah, we're not doing that. We're just gonna bring it back, bring the beat back. I do that, I gotta restart the broadcast. Be careful with this shit. They back to Madden, just disconnecting you while you actively doing shit. Who knows? EA Sports is broke the game. EA Sports. It should be EBA Sports.
I don't even say EA. I be like
Sports. Shit.
this shit broke.
Shit, motherfucking. They motherfucking rob your. This is Madden Price Gate. The Price Gate. They rob us.
Oh yeah.
They rob us. Price Gates. Fucking rob the shit out of us for 100 plus, and then sell you a half game and be like, don't worry about it. Wait for the patch. All right. You already know how I go, man. My boy Hitting out on deck right now to be able to do the top 10. We call it the BCS, but really it's the GOT3 rankings, top 10 rankings. Now talking about the Madden franchise junkie boys is on deck, man. If it ain't one of us, there's always some of us somewhere around right now. We circle the wagon, and what we do is we circle the wagon, you know what I'm saying? We circle the wagon. We're all over the league circling the wagons, you know what I'm saying? That's how we doing it right now. So that number 1 team in the top 10 right now, the only undefeated team left in this bitch, week 12, are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. When you say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Max, who is the face of their team? Is it the quarterback that you said wasn't elite, now you saying is? Is it somebody on that defense? Is it the running back? Is it the tight end? Who you think is the face of their team, Rob? Is it the tight end? Is it Henry Ruggs? Is it Jaleel Ruggs? Is it
I feel like
the quarterback?
I think it's
I feel like it's.
I think it's
they
the
would
tight end,
share-
honestly, but
I was about to say the tight end, but I would say it's they would just share like for their home schedule or their pamphlets that they send out. I feel like it's the tight end. It's the tight end in the middle, right? Jerry Bradshaw on the right, and then Devin White to the significant the defense on the left, and that's exactly what the picture looks like.
True, I can see that.
I like that.
Yeah. That's what the picture looks like to me. When I see the Tampa Bay Bucks and they give you their schedule, the home games, the away games, and they send them out to all the fans in Tampa Bay, the surrounding ones, and if you got your season passes and shit, it's John Jenkins, 99 Reasons in the center, Bradshaw with the ball up like Brady to the right, and then Devin White with the two arms crossing to the side, to the left, and that's the picture right there.
Yeah, I feel you on that right now. All right, who's you back up? Just back to this top right now, man. What do you think, man? This is not unfamiliar territory for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. Tampa, 99 Reasons Buccaneers have been in this situation more than once. I think they've been in this situation for the last couple of seasons where, you know, they were close to being the last undefeated team going into the playoffs right now. So they're on 11-0. They're on an 11-game winning streak. They got 5 home wins, 6 on the road. I mean, these guys put up 574 points total so far. They're giving up 224. You know, that's a low total right there. They might even be close to not giving up points at all, like these next couple teams I'm going to be talking about. And one thing I'm going to tell you about this, if you're going to be in the top 10 rankings, you're definitely going to have to be a team that stop people from scoring or a team that put up points. Simple as that, especially over here. You at week 12, right? You got 6 games left, right? And you're talking to your team, you know, a team that's confidently playing well. They've been here before. What is the message down the stretch if you're the Tampa Bay coach? That question will go to you, Max.
I feel like it's got to be finish. Finish regular season, finish practice this week, finish practice tomorrow. Finish week 17, week 18, and then keep that same mentality to, you know, to buckle up for the playoffs, and then the motto there will still be finish. If they go undefeated, it'll definitely be like a, you know, we've topped everything else, you know, we got to go all the way. You know, if they end up losing down the stretch, I still feel like that loss won't really kill their confidence. I don't think the record really matters at this point.
I asked this question before, though. How important is it for Tampa Bay to have a home field advantage throughout the playoffs?
Definitely important for them to have home field advantage. For seeding purpose for the NFC, you know, it's always mixed up in the, you know, those 1, 2, 3, and 4s.
Yes, please.
And then the worst 2 spots that you don't want to be at, in the sense is, you know, you don't want to be in Chicago or you don't want to be in New York because of the snow. So I feel like, you know, as long as you try to stay in somewhere warm, that matters.
I agree. I definitely think the weather, the element is the key. If I'm a home team, I want the bad weather. You know what I'm saying? If I got the first round bye, I want the bad weather because you got to come to my element. We used to playing in it. You're not. If you're a team that don't play in that type of weather, I don't really think home field matters at this point when you get to the top guys on that side, right? When you get to the top guys in the NFC. It really doesn't matter too much. I mean, you can feel the momentum shift a lot faster in a home team situation, but when it comes down to the top guys that play each other for the to get to a Super Bowl over there, I think home field, unless the weather is in play, the home field situation goes out the window. Number 2 on this list is the AFC team is the Buffalo Bills, man. This team has been, I mean, it's so, right now in New York, you ask yourself, if upstate New York, or is it, you know, New York, the team, like, who's getting the best press right now? I mean, obviously, you know, down there in the city is a lot more to talk about, a lot more traffic going on than, you know, riding through the woods, and every stop, you know, every 10 miles you go, there's somebody with a Confederate flag swinging around and a Trump supporter somewhere around, and you got donkeys and giraffes and shit somewhere out in that area. Shit all fucked up out there, but the one thing that's steady out there is the Buffalo Bills. And then the city of Buffalo is off the hook anyway. So you up there upstate New York, they only about an hour and a half away from Canada and shit. My thing is they're balling at a high level right now, and they're not just doing it on the field. These guys are doing it in everywhere, GMing and all types of shit. How much do you think the GM role that this coach came in and adapted to fast, tearing free agency up, um, tearing free agency up and motherfucking hitting the draft and grabbing players and key pieces? It sucks though because I still haven't got the corners and safeties done, and I'm quite sure he got a guy or two over there that's going to drop. At this point, I don't know why I even do it right now. I guess since I've dropped the ball on it, leave it alone. But anyway, what makes the Buffalo Bills such a hot team?
The coach just understood the roster and where he was at as far as yearly, what he came in and what year he came in and how much time he had to turn shit around before it hits a certain mark in the season. He understood the veteran presence through free agency and still maintain young presence drafting, and he didn't waste draft picks. He drafted what he needed, and then when he drafted what he needed, he got that shit developed and implemented into the offense and defense quick. And he revives even some guys, Josh Allen, Diggs. Again, he revived guys that were kind of on their way out. So he, he just got full maximum value out of everything he's been doing basically since he became the GM over here. I don't think they've really made one errored move as far as like a roster move.
Nah, they haven't. They've been on point. They kind of been winning. And when you win, you win. You know what I'm talking about? Listen, man, let me ask you this, man. Lately, the Bills and the Broncos have been meeting up, whether it's regular season or playoffs. And every time they meet up, a lot of good things is on the line. Playoff positioning, maybe to move on in the playoffs. But these guys are playing each other a lot more. I think they've played 4 times in the last 2 years. Or 3 times in the last 2 years. Can we say that this is a rival game now between the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's a rival game. The best of the best in the AFC, the top tier teams in the AFC consistently. And the fact that they know each other, like to the sideline, kind of like the same feel as maybe like a.
Wait, where are y'all?
Like I wouldn't say the same feel as like a me and Craig, but maybe like a me and the Fog to a sense. It's not as much shit talking as like a me and Craig, or maybe like a Fog and Craig, something like that, or maybe you and Fog, something of the sorts. Just kind of like a game where the coaches know each other, but they still take this shit serious and they come out there and put on a show.
So what you're saying is these two coaches will they will go have a beer with each other. Summertime, when it's off season, these two guys get up and go vacation, take their wives and children and family on vacation together. They got that type of relationship, is what you're saying.
I definitely think so. Yeah, which makes their games that much better.
All right. Well, the Buffalo Bills have done something big, and they beat the Broncos, and because of that, they're the number 2 team in the league right now. The Broncos lost 2 games down the stretch. 2 games scared right now. But Buffalo, I asked the same question to you. Who's the face of their team? Because I would have said Josh Allen, but he's sitting in the bench right now.
I was just about to say Josh Allen, but that makes me feel like it's Chris Poole.
I like that. The speedy receiver, Chris Poole.
Yeah, I would say Chris Poole, and
then
I don't know if they really have a defensive one, but lo and behold, Castle seems pretty dominant over there.
Mm-hmm.
And their running back, as much as they're not a running team, they're not even Griffin. The one before, he was a fucking bell cow for me. So maybe a little bit of him, understudy him, but I would say Chris Poole is probably the solo picture for the Bills right now.
Yeah, I think he's definitely the face of the Bills right now. What type of market do they got up there in upstate New York, man, for the Buffalo Bills? They say the North America's team. Like the Cowboys are America's team. This team is the North America's team right now, man.
I mean, their fans just go hard for them, honestly. Any type of weather, they show up any time, any place. They could be playing a game all the way in fucking Florida, and they show up, or they'll be playing in a game all the way in San Francisco. If they got to go against the Niners, they'll show up.
How much?
Loyal.
How
fan
much when
base.
you walk in the city, man? When you walk in the city and you come out of your condo and you look over the high rise or where you stand at right now, you look down. How much Buffalo Bill uh, clothing you see running around
Honestly, a little bit more, just
in your
because of
neck of the hood?
the different type of coaches that they have between New York and then Buffalo, and then with the onslaught of the Jets kind of not really ever appearing anywhere. There's really no walking around Jets fans with apparel and shit. They don't really do that. Maybe some old LT jerseys or some old Yankees jerseys, but no new Jets jerseys are really getting sold. So it left the gap. You know, guys had to jump to the Bills, and when they started jumping to the Bills, Coach Hoodie kind of came in there, so it kind of made a good timing, because for the first 3 seasons, nobody really knew what was going on with the Bills.
I mean, the word is right now in Buffalo is that just in revenue alone from him taking over this team, they went up to $45 million a year, bringing in from from everything, from money, from businesses taking off. Like the Buff City of Buffalo is thriving right now. There's a lot going on in that city right now because of the Buffalo Bills and the way they are playing football this year. Do you feel like this team has a legitimate shot at the Super Bowl this year?
I definitely, yes, off the rough answer, yes. I haven't really looked in depth at their team all the way to see if they're like championship ready.
You haven't looked at this team?
I haven't looked at their team all the way. Not recently. Not a recent look at their team. But I know what they've put together throughout the years when we've done podcasts. Maybe a quick glance here and there. I think the last time I looked at them was right after the draft, maybe 2 or 3 or something like that. I think they might have the championship roster, but they do have the rookie quarterback. So it's I think that would be the only thing that kind of troubles me as far as thinking that they're a Super Bowl team. But they got the coach to kind of narrow that rookie quarterback shit out. So it's possible.
All right. So the Buffalo Bills are sitting at number 2 right now. They when it comes down to points scored right now, you're looking at 398 points scored, 227 points given up. 227 look like it could be possibly the lowest amount of points given up by a team this year. In fact, I'm gonna check that real fast. Let's just make sure my facts is right. And looking at teams that the Buccaneers. Nope, the Buccaneers 224. Obviously, the first 2 teams are stopping guys, right? 224, 227. So, yeah, let's get back to that. Let me see something real fast. Right back to it. All right. So at the end of the day, the Buffalo Bills are playing at a high level. They just pulled off a really big win, man. Max, how big is it? Regular season, a lot of guys, get caught up in that. It's the regular season. Nobody's really, some people play the game like this. It's the regular season, man. I'm not really, I'm not going fucking, crazy for a win. I want to win, but I'm not going crazy for a win. I don't want to lose no games, but I'm not, I'm not getting in playoff mode until I need to be in playoff mode. What do you say to a team like the Cardinals that, seem like they could turn it on and turn it off at any moment, right? Versus a team like the Bucks, who they play to win every time they play. They don't know no other way but to play winning football, right? What do you say affects a team like the Cardinals with the turn on, turn off sauce, and a team that's already engaged in winning a ball game all year long from week 1 to the playoffs?
I feel like the effect of a team like the Cardinals is simply just dropping some games, maybe missing some, I wouldn't say missing developments, but missing that momentum from just having dominant seasons. sometimes when you kind of lose or drop a couple games, you can still gather momentum, but it just doesn't hit differently when, you know, maybe you've been tapped in, you know, all season and, you know, you're hitting all goals and all cylinders. You're not really trying shit. You're kind of going with, like, the program. It kind of can just already have you playoff ready and, like, battle tested mentally, where, like, the way that the cards kind of go through it is kind of like they try to learn something as they go every season, something new, kind of put themselves in different situations. This isn't a bad thing, but sometimes you would just wonder, do they never, like, perfect or grind something out? And I know that sounds funny because, like, Super Bowls, okay, they've won those, but, like, they've done different things to win the Super Bowls versus, like, a domination of one thing. Minus hits Israel, like, playoff thing, they haven't, like, they've had receivers do the spread of 1,000-yard shit, then they had them do something else, and they had the tight end, and they had double running back, then they had one running back, and then they had Kyler for 1 year. Like, they've kind of thrown it all the way around, so they're just kind of.
Can the fact that, you know, let me explain what I mean by a team that turns out, like, when you got a guy that come out of the offseason and look at their roster, they look at what's new on their roster. They look at what's already been there, what's proven on their roster, right? And as they're playing their games, especially early on, I would say from week 1 to about 6, you're looking more to develop and to tune up and to get yourself, you know, pretty much, you know, in a situation where you're comfortable down the stretch and you know what you got going into the playoffs, right? I think that's, you know, a great way to build your team, a great way to attack things, right? But you have to have that clutch gene to be able to turn it on or turn it off any moment, right? But what about a team that, you know, that's just full playoff mode from week 1 till they get to the playoffs right now? Do you think that can hurt? Like, say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers haven't got over the hump of the Cardinals in the playoffs, or haven't got over the hump of any team that stopped them from getting to the Super Bowl, right? But do you think that the full-fledged playoff mode football from week 1 to then hurts them in a way where they get to the playoffs and they get, you know, and they get knocked out because they're, you know, they give it all so early and so, you know, a steady pace of giving it all throughout the entire season? Do you think that catches up to a team like that?
Yes,
stop them from getting to their ultimate goal?
Yes, kind of, but, like, at the same time, the rebound off of it is they you know, if they line down and run that, you know, say they line down and run whatever scheme, let's call it a Buck scheme, and they run Buck scheme 16 games out the season, right? That 16 potential different looks, and they kind of get the sense of mastering something. You know, they know what they say. I fear the man that hasn't practiced 1,000 different punches once. I fear the man that's practiced one punch 1,000 times, because he has now mastered that punch. So I think at that point, you know, it gets them to the same spot every year. Now, to answer this specific of good, is that play style not getting them past the NFC Championship? I would say no. It's just the principles of football. Inches matter, plays matter, seconds matter. Those are the type of games that they're losing, I feel like, when they get to that NFC Championship.
It's a great answer, man. It's a great answer, because at the end of the day, you know, when you look at wins or losses, when you lose in a big game, it comes down to that. Like, it really comes down to that. It literally
comes down to inches played. If I had the ball for 13 seconds longer, or took 20 seconds away from him, or if I would have, you know, not took so long to score, then maybe I could have actually got that stop and it would have mattered. I got that stop. Maybe I didn't have enough time. Instead of getting the ball back with 40 seconds, you get the ball back with 1 minute and 9 seconds. And that's that, or anything. 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, inches, you go for it, you fuck up. Like, those are the shit I feel like that kills the Bucks. And when you go against the team,
as long as we can hear you, you got your mic on?
Yeah, my mic
hold on. Let me see.
Time into that?
Yeah, fuck, your shit's on, your shit's on.
But what happens when that happens over and over, year after year? Like, at some point, it gotta be just.
You would say that about, like, what about, like, the Saints game, though? Like, the Saints in real life. Like, okay, a PI 1 year, then the next year Diggs bombed them on coverage. Like, but, okay, those are key plays that lost the game, right? But if you look within the game, they lost that game not converting on third downs or not having a run
that's
game.
my
Or,
point.
you know what I'm saying?
At what point do you just look at it and you say they just don't got the it? And not saying the Bucks don't got the it, but if they keep getting those games where it gets tight and the palm gets sweaty and they just not producing when it matters, at some point you gotta look at the, like what they say is insanity, doing something over and over, trying the same shit over and over again.
Yeah. And yeah,
At some point,
definitely is.
Point you gotta look at, the play calling, the preparation, you know what I mean? Like that gotta take account. If it's again a year, 2 years, we're 7 years in, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
7 years in, I mean, not, and again, it's not about winning or losing, but the losses are the same. The losses are the same as in that they're right there. They're right there.
A player or two away from not having them.
So at some point, it can't just be the nuances of the plot or the game. It gotta be, what am I doing? What am I doing where I gotta just change up? You know what I'm saying? I gotta change up and reevaluate everything. Play calling, like you said, time of possession, style. You know what I mean?
I think it's just a little. I feel like the little things is what can drive a coach to be insane. You could be in that theory. What you're saying, he could honestly adjust things that maybe don't need adjusting, and he would never know until he lines down again the next season and kind of does it. So I feel like that comfortability, that like drive that the Bucks have in this situation, it's gotten them to the same position. But I don't know if they've been the same like coach every year, if that makes sense.
Let me put it this way: if one coach had 5 NFC championship losses, right? 5,
5 consecutive championship. You talking about NFC or just
NFC?
Okay, NFC championship.
Right, and I'm not just saying about just in general. Would they still have a job?
Nah.
No.
Hell no.
No, but
and if they did have a job, if they still had the job, they would have to pretty much overhaul their coaching staff, a lot of other things. Correct?
They would. I feel like they could have a job because that type of success wouldn't go unappreciated. I don't think an org is just gonna drop.
They're gonna look at it like this, man. You doing a hell of a job as a coach, but then like you just can't get over that hump. This is the same reason why you see Anthony Iverson sitting on the roster for the Baltimore Ravens. It's the same situation. We love Lamar Jackson, but at the end of the day, you haven't got us over that one hump we're trying to get over, and your job is on the line because of it. So I definitely.
As soon as that happens, you having the best season ever.
How long did Tony Dungy have his job in the AFC, losing to New England or the fucking whatchamacallits like every other year?
It was only like 2 or 3. 2 years. He lost. And then the third year they got off remember the third year they were down like 21-3 at half, and then they had the great comeback.
I thought it was like year 4 or something like that. I was about to say they were losing for a while.
If he'd have lost that game, the way he might have been out of it.
Yeah, then it definitely, especially for black coaches.
Play that year anyway, because especially being a black coach, they'd have off his head.
That's what I said, especially him being a black coach. All right, so
and some things happen. You remember one of those years? Remember they was like undefeated. Then the sun died. Remember during the season?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Remember one of them years? Remember the year they lost to Pittsburgh? Remember? Remember the coach was smoking, boy. They was like.
I feel like for a team like Mike Tomlin, I mean, they ain't fire that nigga. There's no reason to.
Well, obviously they call it the Rooney Rule. They not firing nobody. They real life motherfuckers. They be on some real shit. They ain't with that racist shit over there, man. And then they really don't. You don't got a long history of coaches in Pittsburgh, man. Their coaches have long tenures.
Right.
I think that's just that's true.
Had 3 coaches like 60 years.
It's a tribute to the successful level too, though. Mike Tomlin every year is successful, and I think
Man, look at Flores. Flores got the Miami Dolphins to the playoffs further than any other coach in the last how many years?
Nah, he ain't get them to the playoffs. He got them a 10-win season, and then from 0-7,
that fast enough?
Yeah, that was super fast, baby. That tells me you love me.
I think what Falk said would be true. The coach would still be there, but they would clean house. Different offensive coordinator, different defensive coordinator.
I'm hungrier after every loss. That's all I'm gonna say.
And I'm just like, look at my mom. It took them to draft the fucking quarterback for him to just say, this is what I could have always done for Coach Israel.
Tomlin did win a chip.
I mean, that's pressure.
A top 10 quarterback. They drafted a top 10 quarterback to replace him, and then he said, not yet.
Not yet. I'm not doing that. Not this year. And he's playing fucking lights out. Alright, so top tier Craig, I'm hungrier after every loss. That's all I'm gonna say. Then he comes back and says, we losing to the same person everyone losing to when it matters. We will get over the hump. Yeah, so again, remember I started this show off saying, please don't take nothing personal, listen to the criticism and go with it. Because that's one thing I said, I always say that. I lose to the same coach. He done knocked me out of 3 Super Bowls, and I haven't beaten him in the regular season at all, out of 3 tries. So we 0-6 against this guy. So I get it. That's a factor in it too, the person you're playing. The person you're losing to. So that matters too, because what happens...
Hold on. Can I say something with that? No, and I'm just pushing back a little bit. I done lost twice to Nana. Like, it's relative, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's deep, but it's really like, if you want to, it's ways you can look at it. I missed the play here, missed the play there. But the thing again is, like, at what point do you say, like, I guarantee you, and if I play you again, you're going to look at that game and say, hold on, I got to play a little different. Somehow, some way, I could, the other, 6 times? The other 6 times I lost. So I got to do something different. Yes or no? So that's my point.
At some point, no, you're definitely right. At some point, if you're in a one-on-one game, and I like to put it one-on-one because mentally it's a one-on-one game. You get down to that point. One-on-one game with somebody you lose 6 times in a row, you can't go in there and do the same game plan to a T. Not saying you can't stay consistent or got you some buckets, and got you some points, but I think
you want to know my real feelings about losing 3 Super Bowls to Falk and 3 regular season games to him. It's eating me at the core. I'm like, to the point where I sit around. I sit around and think, like, I wonder if niggas think I just keep using excuses. My internet terrible, blah blah blah. I can't gather why I'm losing to him the way I'm losing to him, because we usually go back and forth with it. It's either I'm knocking him out of the championship game to go to the Super Bowl when we're in the same division, or we go back and forth.
Infiltrating your fucking chat here.
That's Russia. I don't give a fuck. Fuck them. They can infiltrate all they want. But like, my thing is, I look at it like this. I know what Falk does different to pull those wins out, and it's something that I used to do to him. And because of that, our style of play reversed. I'm in the game, coming out of a game, losing to him, throwing a ball somewhere between 25-30 times. When I shouldn't be. Bottom line is what it comes down to, right? And most of that happens because of what he forces me to do, right? But the way the way you do some things in the playoffs, or in big games, is you want to eliminate turnovers and you want to eliminate bad starts, right? And if you look at all of our games outside of the first Super Bowl where I just got the doors blown off me, right? All those games has been bad start, fight to come back, but can't finish the comeback, right? And that bothers me more than losing to somebody I usually beat all the time, or those type of games make you madder and make you a little bit more upset and want to figure things out more when you lose in those type of games. Some people say, oh, I'd rather have got blown out this game than lose by a fucking point. Things like that. It's almost like that feeling a little bit. But with me, it's more like I gotta lock the fuck in. See, the problem thing with me is I look myself in the mirror probably more than anybody. Facts. I look myself in the mirror probably more than anybody. To the point where I look myself so much in the mirror, I ask myself, I wonder, do niggas really be on chat thinking I just be making up, I'm losing so it's connection. and shit like that. I just had this conversation with you earlier, Falk, right? Losing because of connection or when I'm losing games and all that, right? And that's me looking myself in the mirror. I'm questioning myself. Maybe, maybe it ain't connection. Maybe it's just in my head because I did come from, feeling like I had great connection to where I'm at now. I really don't have good connection. So in my head, I don't know what it is, right? But I'm trying to make sense of, the issues, right? I'm trying to make sense of the issues. I do not remember wins. Trust what I'm telling you. Right away, I can remember them, but down the stretch, you can't ask me who I beat. Did I beat a guy? How many times I beat a guy? I wouldn't better tell you that, but I could tell you how many times I lost to somebody all the time. And I take that shit personal, and I hold that right in close to my chest, and I think about that until I get to the next game to better play that person I lost to, and I'll keep doing that. So in the case of losing to a Super Bowl champion and stopping me from winning the Super Bowl, that's held close to me. So when I can get to myself and put myself in a situation where it's like, all right, now I'm not trying to hear that loss this time, right? And I got to do something to make sure that changes, right? I lost to the Browns twice last year, and once in the end of the season, and then once he knocked me out of the wild card round. And I took that personal to the point where it's, all right, when I see this guy again, I gotta better, show that that happens here and there. That's not that's not going to be a new thing right now. You're going to go back to writing me a paragraph real soon, right? I lost to Shoguns, and to this day, I'm still stuck off that loss. Even though I feel like I revenged that loss more than once, I'm still fighting to play as if I lost to you, so you on my shit list. And I'm like that with anybody I lose to. Again, I remember the losses. I don't remember the wins at all. I don't really count wins. I can't tell you my record against anybody unless I'm telling you a loss. So I know I'm 0-6 against the Cardinals. And I got to find a way to change the narrative there. And what we do, and you see, the whole thing is this. Again, look yourself in the mirror. All right, well, Lamar Jackson, you at the helm. I'm controlling you, but you at the helm. And we 0-6 against this team. All right, well, this is what we ready to do. Maybe it's time to move on from you. So we go trade for a top 10 quarterback. And, again, look at what he's doing this year. He's having a great year. He's not letting that guy take his job right now. So maybe that might have been a kick in the ass to look yourself in the mirror. All I know is this. Whatever you're doing and not doing is up to you to fix it. Simple as that. So I only ask that question because it's levels the way guys attack things, right? Again, you got like me. I'm not serious about trying to win, if that makes sense to you, when I'm building players. Like I do a lot of turnover in my rosters. I trade a lot of players. I start over a lot. I reset my team a lot because I like to bring in young talent and build them, right? So in the beginning stages of the season, that's what I'm doing. I'm running around trying to get those guys built and developed and get them going, right? And you got some guys that don't do all that. Some guys, they play with their team. And that team sticks together. They gel together for a numerous amount of years, where it's the same players on the field. And they go into games comfortable with that situation, and that takes them into their playoff run and doing the things they would like to do. If you feel like you got a bunch of veterans, guys that play together on the field, you feel like you got a better chance to winning, right? Versus guys, what we talk about, rookie quarterbacks. You said Hoodie, you don't know if Hoodie could be a Super Bowl winner this year because they got a rookie quarterback, right? But what if Hoodie don't look at it like that? What if we've seen guys win with rookie quarterbacks?
No, that's why I said after that, my next line was like, but if anybody that I think feels really comfortable, it's like his coaches like that they're looking at it from the inside out. We're like, shit, we just a quarterback away from a Super Bowl, so we got our guy. Well, shit, let's rack him and roll him now. Like, and that's just flat out with the way it can be. I think it's all about what you do with that talent and your vision. Like, what I'm saying, you put the talent there, your vision. Can you go in depth with your vision? Can you make third string players have roles of first string players and shit like that? If applicable. Not everybody's got third string players that can play that role.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It just depends. Or even second string players that can play that role. They're comfortable and okay with their starters, and that's the way that it should be in a sense. But you never know if that's hindering.
I look at my team for the future, and if I could still, like, to me, still in the bowl early, or winning there, a couple of them early, whatever the case may be, is always the agenda to win every year, right? But I look at my roster and I look at, you know, who I lose to and the guys that are beating me, and I look at when does the transformation happen. At some point, you know, my 6 new players on the field and your same players on the field for years, you know, you trumping me that way, right? And eventually that turnover happens where I'm the guy that got those players on the field. You're starting, you're resetting. It's all types of things, man, that happens the way you look at yourself and look at your team. But I just know you look yourself in the mirror, you know, after the same way you get to success and you can, you know, you beat on your chest and success, you need to beat on your chest the same way and failure. And because I think that will make you a better player, make you a better person on the game, period. When you're doing things like that, if you could look at yourself and be like, how many guys we say this about, like, damn, when he winning, everything all good. When he losing, it's look at him bitching, complaining about shit. It ain't it's the team he playing. Oh, your team too good, all that shit, right? At the end of the day, you take your loss the way you want to take it. But if you ain't learning from your loss, then you ain't, you know what I mean, you ain't bettering yourself as a player on this game, period. Some things just out of our control. Some things we can control. And the things we can control, we need to control that, you know, where we need to be in front of it and controlling it. And that's what we're doing right now. So we put some pieces around us right now to say, all right, Lamar, the pressure on you right now. You know, the GMs and doing it. What was my interview with Lamar? He came back and said he waiting for the GM to stop giving them new players to put on the field and play all the time and let them get used to the guys they got. Their locker room changes too much. They, you know, so that was his rebuttal back. But then he put his head down and been playing lights out football, all year right now. So again, our number 1 team is the Buccaneers. They're 11-0. This team has been a winning team from season 1. They're very, very, very good at what they do, and they do it at a high level. I know that. I know the coach personally, and I know he wants to get over. He's not, you know, harped over a loss or, you know, sitting back. He wants to win. He once he gets over the loss is back to business as usual. And that's all we ask from guys. The Bills, same thing. The Bills are sitting and doing what they doing. I like what the Bills is at number 2, and I like what they're doing in the league, because what they did was came in late and showed that it doesn't matter how late they came in. If you know how to move and do the right things you gotta do along with coaching, you'll be successful, and that's what they're doing at number 2 right now. Number 3 team on this list right now, number 3. We got the little new gremlins, right? You said something earlier while nobody else was on with us but me and Rob, that this was your year, right? And you say that?
Have high hopes of this. High feelings.
I don't think you meant this is your year, we're going to a Super Bowl. I think you said it because you kind of said that afterwards. Like, I don't think you was referring to winning the Super Bowl. But could you explain what you mean by this is your year? Like, you feel super comfortable with your team in a way, I guess?
Yeah, super comfortable. This is the year that staples the next couple of seasons as far as, like, what type of, like, the era of the Gremlins, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really just a year thing. That's more like an era thing. Like, I think once guys understand what's happening full circle, you'll be wondering, like, damn, like, did these niggas really ever have a year where they fell off? And the answer will be no. So I think this is just that year where everything kind of locks in and loads and ready to start shooting shits off.
All right, so listen, man. It seems like, you know, in the NFC, your rival runs strong when it comes down to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What is it about y'all that y'all competitive edge that have y'all really attacking each other? Because lately it's been some attacks. It's been, you know, I almost think Craig feel like, you know, you lose to him and make excuses on why you lose. And I think you, if I'm putting words in your mouth or not, I think you feel like if you're saying something, it is what it is on that level. Like, ain't excuses, you just saying what it is right now. But the fact that you and the Bucks had a rival since real draft and y'all rival is strong right now, do you feel like how do you feel about that rival? That's what I want to say. How do you feel about that rival?
I think real draft is what kind of like a nano dolphin situation, where real draft is where the pot brewed and now we're in the kitchen and the stove is fully lit, and I think it's just been lighting up more and more each season. First 2-3 seasons, you know, the Bucks are a high-powered team. The Giants are not. We made ourselves high-powered for the division, and then we was able to compete with the Bucks. And then once we was able to compete, it was kind of like we never looked back. But I think all in all, the shit talking, the competitive nature both comes
Be
from
quiet.
us doing none other, but we're both trying to chase a ring. And we know whether we have to see each other, we have a common enemy, but we don't never negate the enemy between one another, kind of
Right.
through that process and through that path. And that's just from seeing each other, knowing what the story is in the NFC, kind of.
Do you feel like the Bucks is in your way?
They always.
And would you say the Bucks
it,
is in your way before the Cardinals is in your way?
It honestly always comes down to season. They're both in my way. Whoever does, that's the thing about the one seed in the NFC. Whoever doesn't have the one seed has to run through Bucks, Cards +1,
Right.
or you know what I'm saying. And then whoever's the one seed has to run through Cards or Bucks or Giants. Giants have never won the one seed, so yeah, like that. So I think that always plays a part, and it definitely matters. So yeah, they're. I would say the Cardinals and the Bucks are very much the same level in the Giants' way, because we don't have a one seed coach right now.
Right. So you view both of those guys as the same when it comes down to on field getting after it. Both
absolutely.
of them are the same. I like that statement. I think I think that, you know, between y'all, it's a serious rival. But what team are y'all? Let's look at it like this. In the NFC, you know, if you're looking at y'all three as the guys, one of y'all three can be the ultimate guys to go to a Super Bowl, have the highest percentage to go to the Super Bowl. What's the team you're sleeping on that you're not thinking about right now that should be in the mix with that?
Bears always. It's never no disrespect to the Bears. I would say roster-wise, shit. Cowboys and me personally, I always feel like the roster-wise, the Cowboys and the football team are ready anytime. It's just a matter of the coaches. But then when it comes down to like which coaches, maybe, I think Drew is short than himself. You know, he's giving himself the short end of the stick.
But don't just remember, criticism is critique, right? Why is he shorting himself?
I don't think he honestly goes into the mentality like he should be placed in the NFC Championship. I don't think he goes in there with that mentality. I could be completely wrong because, you know, I wouldn't know.
To be honest with you, I think the coach for the 49ers and the coach for the LA Chargers have the same type of, no disrespect, same type of backbone. Now, I do think the coach for the 49ers is a more situation. I think he just, you know, might got a situation going on, but it's too much giving up between those two teams. If you understand where I'm coming from, I just think they'll shut it down the stretch real fast off of a loss.
It shows me a lack of want, lack of desire. Like it's a weird feeling for a coach to like grind and do well first X game of the seasons or whatever the case may be, have players in good situations, and then kind of like bail on them, like cover 3 bail on them, like out of there. And
like my whole thing is this, like just think about the run the Chargers was on. Once they drafted that tight end and then followed that up with Mr. Pierre at receiver, right? Then they traded for Saquon Barkley. They won a division twice out of 6 seasons. They have 2 championships, right? Division championships. They beat. Yeah. They're not twice. They did it twice. They think they did it back to back. My thing is, I think they put themselves in a bad situation because they turn it off so fast. Like when I talk about guys with energy, and I say these guys that they need to lose with the same energy you win with, right? Now, how do you say that? Because nobody loses and be happy about the loss, right? But that same energy when guys is winning, you know, and no disrespect to Corey. Corey, my guy, and again, I'm criticizing shit, and, you know, critiquing things right now. But when Corey wins, how many of y'all pay attention to this? When he winning, you know, he's in the chat, he's active, he having fun, he talking in the chat, doing types of, you know, making comments, all types of shit. Even when he's engaged to the league, when he's losing, he's writing paragraphs on why he lost, you know, breaking things down, he's into it. But how do you get to the point where you win the division 2 years in a row, back to back, and then just tank after a couple of losses? and then just don't play no more. Like, and just shut it the fuck down. Then you come back this year, and I said that all last year. Him shutting it down at the wrong time when a guy like Pierre was stepping up, because you know he was wilding with Bryce Moss. He had him at one point the best tight end in the league. We don't even look or think about when has the last time anybody heard anything from that tight end Bryce Moss, and he's still a young pup. He's under 25 years old. When's the last time he's been in the news, in the press, on the stat line, anything that we talking about? I mean, he invented a tight end playing fullback and tight end out of the pistol. Like, he had so much going over there with that team, and then just shut it down. And then it's harder to come back from that shutdown, because now you gotta replace the games lost for you not doing anything with your team. That momentum you had, you lose that momentum, you lose that morale, and you lose that build, right? I don't think the 49ers and Corey are the same, and hey, but they're close to it. Like, the 49ers shut it down. You know, he had an opportunity to beat Falk twice in the season, shut it down last year, gave him the first win, let him play the computer, and could pretty much shut himself out of the playoffs, right? Now, to this time around, he has some things going on. Like, we've spoken, we talked, he got some things going on there. And the funny part is, he's just as engaged now while he's not really playing than he has been when he's not really playing, if that makes sense. But how important is it to fight through your situations? Like, how important is it to be able to fight through the losses and understand what you're dealing with to be able to make it better so it don't happen again, is the question I'll ask you, Max.
I think it's highly important.
Lions too. Lions could be in that mix. He shut us down by week 9. I think Antonio problem more isn't really him wanting to shut it down, because I seen that guy can lose all 16 and play. We saw it in year 1. But the problem with him is just the hard load that he got right now with being a full-time student and a full-time employee right now. He at that stage where his football life is over. Remember, Antonio still played football in college. And, you know, you got to figure out what you want to do in life now that your football dreams is over with, right? It ain't no scholarships to guys that don't play football no more because of injuries, right? You got to figure out how you gonna pay for college and what you gonna do with the rest of your life, because you know, as a college student, that's the next move is being a grown ass man, on being able to take care of yourself and make a living for yourself. So I ain't mad at Antonio, and I really want to put him in that group. I'm talking about guys that just shut it the fuck down because things ain't going right for themselves, and flat out shut it down, right? And how do you get out of that mode? Guys get burnt out. Hitter's burnt out right now. You know how many times Hitter burnt out and I got to talk him off the ledge? Now, talking him off the ledge don't mean he ready to quit the league and don't want to play no more, but just talking him off the ledge, like, why you burnt out for? Knock it off. Get your energy back. Come on, bro. We play a game. We're 24 hours over this bitch. This shit is in the way at times. You know what I'm saying? Like, how fast this shit can move and how actively you got to be really just to keep up this shit. That's why I do gifts and shit like that, man. Because I know how much I ask from you guys. So from all 31 users, I asked a lot of y'all to be super active. This is why I allow guys to, you know, not play or tank, and you know, they don't lose their spots. I bring in another coach because, you know, we're after it, and we're after it like this to this. There's really no break in that, so you can burn yourself out real fast. But at the same time, I'm just talking to those that, you know, win the same way, lose the same way you win. Period. Right. I mean, you know, shots was thrown at the Browns all last year. Boy, you ain't bitching and writing paragraphs and talking about everybody else's team but yours. You winning right now. So make sure you keep that same energy when you're losing. I don't want to hear no my team, but your team better than mine. None of that shit. Like, and he didn't. Today he had a perfect conversation with me after a loss. It wasn't no, you know, your team just too much, just way better than mine. None of that. It was just he understood what he needed to do. We kicked it, talked about it, and he started making moves to do all that shit. Simple as that. All right, your number 4 team on this list is the Patriots right now, 9-1 right now. Who did the Patriots lose to? They were undefeated right before last advance. They lost to the Bills. So the Bills on fire right now. They playing really good football. So the Patriots are sitting at 4 on this list with 381 points scored, 257 given up. Now they're back on a 1-game winning streak. But what's impressive about the Patriots right now, and I don't know if this can hurt them too, but they got 7 road wins right now. Looks like they're 7-0 on the road, and their only loss came at home. 2-1 at home. So that's impressive though. Winning everything on the road. This team travels well this year. They're pretty much undefeated on the road. That's hard to do, man. You go into somebody else's environment, you're coming out of there victorious every single time. And again, your only loss was at home. Number 5 on this list is the Baltimore Ravens. They're on a 4-game winning streak. Let me charge this before it dies. They're on a 4-game winning streak, but however, this team scored 675 points. I think the fact that they traded for Anthony Iverson kicked Lamar in the ass. I think he took that personal because he is striking from everywhere, from the run game, from the passing game. He is wilding this year. I think he's playing really well. And that's that look yourself in the mirror situation right now. For 670, I think nobody's scoring more points than them at this point right now. Granted, I had 2 computer games too. Which one of them being a game that dropped. It was 52 nothing or 52-7 at halftime, and it dropped, and I had to play the computer. But 4 games on the road, home 5 on the road. They look like they got their only loss away, and that was in Arizona. And that's still a hump they got to get over, no matter what the success they have in regular season. At the end of the day, you could talk about the Ravens the same way you talked about those Tampa Bay Buccaneers earlier, right? Getting over that hump, because they got to get over it. They want to win a big thing. Ultimately, they're here to win the Super Bowl, and they have yet to do it. And the one person that's been in their way has been the Cardinals, so they got to get over that right now. Now the Broncos just lost to the Bills, but then won their next game after that right away. So once we advanced, they already locked their game out. But they're sitting at 9-2 right now. Max, why is the Broncos so consistent? Because this team wins a lot of football games.
Coaching.
Flat out coaching.
Flat out just coaching.
We're going to talk about this division really soon, and I think guys are going to be surprised when we talk about doing your own thing, figuring things out, how you want to move while you coaching, how you want to move as a GM. It's very important, man, because we're going to show you that, some of these guys that be bitching, why my players ain't developing, why, everybody getting this and that, I don't got shit over here, this and that. You got guys that show you that, they can do the things fast and make shit happen really fast. And I'm glad we spun the wheel earlier and the wheel stopped at the AFC West, because this is important what I'm going to say today on that part of the show. All right, so the Cardinals are 8-2. They coming off a loss to the New York Giants right now. So in the regular season, the Cardinals have lost to one of their nemesis, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, week 1, and then they turn back around week 11. They lost to the New York Giants last night. Got them 8-2 right now. And are you concerned that they're losing to their top competition over there right now?
No. I feel like that just shows how the top competition can manage to be called the top competition and still lose to them in the big games. Because being the type of team that they are, they've just team success versus everybody else but themselves. So not worried though.
All right, so the Jaguars are at number 8, sitting at 8-4 right now, 545 points. I'll tell you one thing: the Jaguars are scoring points this year. They're pinning on teams right now, 403 points against. The problem is they're not stopping people either, though. I don't think nobody in this top 10 has given up this many points yet. 403, and they just took a loss. I don't know who they played. Maybe do some homework real fast. Let me know who they played. They just played this week to lose. So that's important. And while you're looking for that, number 9, the Miami Dolphins are 8-3 on a 4-game winning streak right now. Again, they lost to the Broncos. Okay, so they lost to a top tier team. And again, this is see what the Jaguars is they've beaten all these teams over in the AFC. They have beaten them guys too, same way they've lost to them. So they just put their head down. Only thing with the Jaguars I would say is you still got to take that next step, man. If you can consistently make the playoffs, you got to now start to try to play to the point where you can consistently win a playoff game. You got the quarterback now. Let's see if this guy can go into the playoffs this year and do something that Trevor Lawrence couldn't do, which is have a winning record in the playoffs. All right. Dolphins got 4 wins on the road, 2 wins, 2 losses on the. 4 wins home and 2 losses home. They got 4 wins on the road and a loss at home, on the road as well. They still playing really good football. And we said earlier that Dan Marino wasn't having a good, he's not having a bad season, just wasn't having the type of season he's been having. We tried to, put it on the new run game over there they got and all that. But at the end of the day, Dan Marino is a winning coach, man. This guy don't never come out of a season without a winning record. So. I know he wants to, erase that. Damn, the Dolphins got to a Super Bowl when they had they got a backup quarterback that got them to a Super Bowl, and now they got a dog that you look at his last name, that name rings bells in Miami, especially for that Dolphins team. What's up? Get us over the hump, or are you gonna be just like your dad? And at number 10, the Bears find themselves at number 10, 8-3. And the Bears ain't locked in. They still wins, man. They find a way to win. They ain't locked in. They just go through the motions. And this is why guys should take it personal. Everybody that's in his division and anybody in the NFC or AFC, man, when you got the Bears that just line up, come in late, tell you what time you're gonna play, you always be late to that game, and then still beat you, and he not even all the way locked in because he don't even know who his starting quarterback is at times. He couldn't tell you who his 3 cornerbacks by name is right now. So a guy like that shouldn't win no games. We should make it our problem from here on out to make sure those Bears are going home early, man. Keep them motherfuckers out of the playoffs. Pain in the ass, number 10. All right, so looking in the window, those teams are peeking in the window right now. The Cowboys are 11 at 6-4. They have a 2-game lose. They can lose 2-game window right now. That's it. In the NFC. Now the Browns, the Vikings, the Packers, the Seahawks, man. Did anybody see this coming? I know I can say 2 people for sure saw this coming, but I don't know if Rob's still on or we just hearing all the background noise from this little badass kid. You called this. Falk called this too. Falk said the Seahawks is gonna beat some people, bro. Trying to tell you. I mean, the man 5-5 right now. He at 500 right now. For the first time in his career, he got a shot to be over 500 and actually run into the playoffs right now.
That's sad.
Yo, if the Seahawks make the playoffs, nobody else can ever say another word to me about anything. That's all I'm gonna say. If the Seahawks, and I'm not planning him out. I'm just showing you what hard work do.
I'm laughing at you dead ass.
Yeah, I'm showing you what hard work can do. This man put his head down and play, Madden. Guys was putting up 100 on him, 90 on him, 70 on him weekly. And right now he's 5-5 right now, bro. Even if he don't win another game, this is success for him right now. And I hope he see it like that, but I hope he hungry enough to say, nah, fuck that. We going all the way. We gotta make it to the playoffs.
I think he's gonna get 8 wins. At least. I'm not even looking at his schedule.
What's the schedule looking like over there for him?
I'm look right now. I'm loading it up. Hold up. I think he'll get at least 8 wins. Yeah.
I think the Eagles is playing game by game right now, and surprisingly, the Eagles is always still in the mix somehow. And they went through a whole bunch of conferences. They just don't go away, bro.
He got the Bengals.
That's a win. That can be a win. Go ahead.
49ers.
That Drew barely playing right now, so that could be a win. Go ahead.
He's got the Cardinals.
Okay.
Bears.
Okay.
Falcons and the Browns.
Bro, he got some good games. Bro. He got some good games on his schedule right now that he could pull off. He could still 1 win and get himself to 9 wins. It'd be great. The 49ers, 49ers got a cornerback that they drafted, the number 1 cornerback that was on the board, Chris Samuel. All I'm gonna just say is everything is advertised. He was the number 1 corner on the board, and I don't know. I think he went off the board 2nd round. Yes, Mom. Huh? Who for you to take? I just gave you some, but yeah, I'll bring you some. I just gave you some an hour ago. Here I come.
Oh, Bear, the room I was talking about. Come up to
Huh?
I said I'm a little surprised right now at the Saints at 5-5.
Saints is 5-5?
I'm a little surprised.
We got it's a whole shitload of teams. Look, the Falcons is 4-6, and because now look, if the Falcons lose the game and lose 1 more game, they're not out of the mix, but they're you might as well stick a fork in them for the most part, right? But the Eagles, the Saints, the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Packers, the Vikings, the Browns, and the Cowboys, Bears, these teams all right here from 11 on down to who I just said, all got a shot to be in it. And these Eagles just won't go away, bro. Starting a brand new quarterback again, and they just won't go away right now, man. I think they got to take it game for game right now. And if they beat the Cowboys, I think they should lock it in and look like they got to go real hard to beat those Giants the week after. If they could pull off those 2 wins, I think if they could pull off those 2 wins, you know, the Cowboys, and then knock the Gremlins off, I think the Eagles is really looking for another playoff run. And that shit crazy because they pretty much was on whatever happens move.
If they can win the Cowboys and the Giants, they got a bye week with the Dolphins, the Giants, the Cowboys, and the Falcons. Oh my God.
You heard her?
Who's that peeking in your window?
Can you
come flipping?
Huh?
Yeah.
When the last time what? Probably like 3 hours ago. If that, as far as one of these.
Oh my God, they gotta go. They better not be peeing on my floor. Don't be pooping.
Can you help me with this while I'm still on the show? I'll take it down. Never mind. Don't worry about it. I got it. That's cool. How many of these night medicines I give her? The memory medicine, yeah. So. Alright, my bad, fellas.
So, Rob, have you fully taken over the Philadelphia name? Or, like, what are man?
They ain't away.
Philadelphia headhunters, nigga.
Philly. I like it, man. See, guys, look, man, when we get deeper in the season, guys get locked in more, man. What you call yourself? The Philadelphia Eagles?
Philadelphia headhunters.
The headhunters. Yeah. Philadelphia. The headhunters.
Don't let me steal a game. Y'all better come right.
She just be. Nah, I gave her one earlier. I said one a day. Give her another one. Yeah, but like, I'm done. Like, I'm gonna tell her once again. All right. When it come down to Monday and Tuesday and you fucking in here ready to kill somebody, that's on you. Right. Alright, bear with me, fellas. Mom Dukes had a hip replacement. And I gotta, take care of Mom Dukes. So, give me a second. I'm not in front of the screen right now. But Rob, how important is it though? Like, look, man, you in a situation where you was thinking about maybe. Now, I'm not saying tank mode, but you said it. We're gonna play the rookie quarterback, and we're gonna figure out, if we got a guy, that's gonna take us to the playoffs, and we're not trying to lose no games. We're out there to win. But now you're in a situation where the 2 teams you gotta play. Here's your memory medicine, and here's. All right. That's the last one for the night. You can't get another one of those. You're gonna be cussing me out tomorrow. And I'm riding. You hear me? I said, and I'm riding. She ain't a car, I'm riding. All right, I'm back. So what do you tell those headhunters, man? What do you tell them for these next 2 games? And I know you got to look beyond the next 2 games, but like right now, what's in front of you are 2 divisional games that must wins for you.
I'm not talking. I don't talk nothing. Like we've been like this whole season has been a let down your shoulders year. We was like, man, we gonna start this rookie. We knew we was gonna go through growing pains, and certain games did get me a little worked up. That's because my competitive nature wouldn't, you know what I'm saying, allow me to take the loss with grace. But no, we gonna keep the same process, man. We gonna go into these games, man, and don't slip, cause we might steal one. Like, I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on us, and that's cool. I mean, it is what it is. I like this position. But, yeah.
Do you actually feel guys are sleeping on you, or are you building this up to give you something to go after? Because I do it a lot. But I'm asking you, do you genuinely feel as though the Eagles are the worst built team in that division and guys are sleeping on you?
I really do genuinely feel that we're the worst built team in the league. I mean, in this division. However, I could be putting that shit in my head because sometimes you need a little fuel.
All right, no
So
doubt.
if I feel like, you know what I'm saying, if nobody's mentioning me here, if I'm like, oh, this and that, the three tops, I'm like, and I'm just like, okay, cool in the background. Like, even Max named the Cowboys and the Commanders. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, that's cute. But
Like keep forgetting about us filthy ass Eagles over here if you want to. Knock it off.
We're down here peeking because last time I checked, the Commanders is one game behind, a couple games behind me. Honestly, well, the one game he got 7 losses, I got 6. But I'm like, all right, that's cool. Just keep, looking over yonder.
They had the choo choo on the moment they came out of their vacation. It was choo 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 choo. Chugga 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 choo choo. All right, so we spun the wheel, and the wheel took us to AFC West, man. We out there in the west side of things right now. Not the West Coast, the west side, whatever you want to call it. That's what we're going at right now. So bear with me. Remember, smash that like button. Type your team's name in the comment section. Screenshot that. Send it to the Giants coach, Coach Max. Send it to the New York Gremlins, the New Young Gremlins. And I will be giving out a gift, and this is the last gift of the season. So for those that are not on, because at this point you should have 31 people with their names typed in the chat ready for that gift. Especially these guys that don't know how to build a team and think that they miss. Oh, I don't know why everybody team look like this and my shit don't. Like, if you that guy, you should be on here, screenshotting and hitting the like button and doing the things we asked to do for you to get that gift. So if you don't get the gift, it's your fault. Simple as that. Flat out simple as that. All right, so now here we go. Let's take it to the West. When you go to the West, you got to stop where's the West, the best of the West right now, right? So you go on down to the B's and you stop at the Broncos. And I'm gonna say it like this, fellas. I love the Broncos roster because he dared to be different. He do it his way. How many of y'all don't understand when I say he got faces on his team? How many of you guys understand that? In fact, outside of my little circle, the first person that can tell me what I mean by he got a lot of faces on his team, right? Type it in the comment section of what I mean by that, and I'm gonna show some extra love to your gift. Not in my circle, not guys that hear me say it every day on chat and all that shit. Guys outside of the circle. So I'm looking for anybody that's not a Shoguns, that's not a hitter.
Circle. Circle. Nope.
It's their old heads. Close but no cigar. Close but no cigar. Faces. What do we mean by faces? See, I could go a little farther with the faces. Alright, Fo gets it. He has all real life players. All real life players. Yep, there you go. All guys that got real pictures, faces, right? For the most part. Alright, so look, let's go. Kellerman. He brought Kellerman over here. Now, I don't think how do I say this? The Broncos built their team for their division first, and here's why. The Chiefs, Hoodie got it right too, real face players, yep. Alright, I got you, Hoodie. Both of y'all, I'm gonna give both of y'all that shit. I got y'all on y'all grades, got y'all. So listen, the Broncos built their team for the Chiefs at first, because remember, the Chargers was tanking year one, they didn't play a game. And the Broncos had to play the Chiefs, and that speed of that receiving core ran right by his DBs. And the next thing you know, that's the first thing they did. They built for their division, right? And then they found out Dolphins is flying that receiver. The Ravens is flying that receiver. And they realized they needed speed. And I think they started their process to the no-fly zone fast. And they did it because of who was in their division. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and McCall Hardman. They were in the division. So they built it there first. I thought they did a really good job of getting speed with that secondary, because when they had the speed, their secondary, guys like Hollywood stopped running by his secondary. Guys like Reek wasn't super successful at running by that defense. And it started with Kerry Vincent having the speed to be able to match up and run man-to-man with those guys. All right? But then they started to build, because they were dominating the division, so then they started to build honestly, in my opinion, I thought they started to build for the Ravens. How do we stop these Ravens? But they did it their way. We talk about guys that build through the draft, can develop players really high, guys that do a lot of trading, you know, guys that want to trade their picks for players that's already built, those type of situations. Well, what he did was he brought his own aspect to how he playing in this league right now, right? And what he did was he got a lot of the young faces. So we looking at guys that were 1 year removed from their draft class, right? And then he got a lot of guys from that 21 draft class. Those guys that's still in a nice little age bracket where you can continue to play with them going further, going into real draft. All right, so it starts with Kellen Mond, who was an absolute rookie when he, you know, in year 1 in 2021 when we started. So they brought in Kellen Mond, right, and they finally found the quarterback. Because remember, the first trade was for Tua, right? Tua couldn't get him over that hump. And then they traded Tua, and they went right to Kellen Mond. And since Kellen Mond, you know, you got to think about it. He's gotten them to the promised land. He just didn't, you know, he just didn't bring the whole thing home. Kellen Mond has played in a Super Bowl. I don't think they get to a Super Bowl with Tua at their quarterback. So that's the first move they did. The way they processed Javonte Williams, in my opinion, was a little different. They took their time with Javonte. We seen Javonte on this roster as a fullback for a season. We saw him as a back that wasn't getting used at all. Like, it looked like he was just out of the mix and that he would be, you know, a rookie bust. And then out of nowhere, I would say at age 25, he just started going crazy with him. He started becoming that guy for this team. They did go in the draft this year, and they brought in Chris Portis. All right, nice little 1'5", 225-pound back. That, you know, depending on the gift or not, he's superstar. He put that tank on him was going to be a problem. But they do got a 1-2 punch because as their offense developed, we understood that they did it with 2 running backs, right? Montgomery and Javonte Williams. So I think they still have that look right now. Javonte's here, and they got the young kid Chris Portis, who is in development stage right now as we speak. But when you got a guy with 225 pounds, with 92 break tackles, 92 trucking, high stiff arm, you got a guy that can do some things. Your job is to get him to a superstar as soon as possible. Whether that's through a gift or you get it during a breakout. You look at the receiver core, he's probably the only team in the league that doesn't have a drafted receiver on their team. Everything is, you know, the younger players that were real life players. You got Jerry Jeudy. They went and traded for Jamar Chase last season, or a couple, maybe 2. Hold on, let's see how long they had Jamar on his team. I think he had him for 2 seasons so far. Yep, he got him last year, and right now he's on the roster. So this is his 2nd season with them, first full season.
DJ Thomas, 3rd year from the Giants.
Yeah, DJ Thomas from the 3rd time. He's a drafted player though.
That's one.
I didn't say they didn't have, you know, drafted players. I'm just saying that, you know, faces. And Hamler's still here. So, I mean, come on, bro. This guy, you know, Jerry Jeudy came with the team. They went and got CD Lamb. And here we go with this shit. Alright, man. I'll knock it off with this fucking Madden shit. EA needs some, whoever is the owner of EA, they need to fucking just jump out a window from the 3rd floor 3 times in a row. If they survive that shit. They get on my fucking nerves, all this dropping and shit. I'm in the middle of looking at rosters and they fucking talking about, inactivity. Disconnection. You're not active right now. We're active, motherfucker. You see me pushing buttons? The fuck wrong with y'all? Alright, so let's get back to this roster. Bear with me, fellas. Bear with me, fellas. Bear with me. Bear down. Let's get down to these. Go the wrong way. Going this way. Going this way to the Broncos. There we go. Alright, so again, with the receiver level right now that they have, they got experience at receiver right now. Max, do you feel like, how long will they be able to get away with a Jerry Jeudy, a Jamar Chase, and a CD Lamb?
Huh?
2 seasons.
That's fine.
Including this season.
Fuck, man. I'm glad you don't.
Let me ask you this. Do you think they're going to go, they traded for a lot of players, right? So, again, Jeudy and Hamler are still the receivers that have been on this team since day one. They traded for Chase, they traded for Land, they traded for Thomas. My question to you is, do you think they're going to eventually have to, you know, attack the draft heavy, or do you think they'll continue to trade for players that's already built?
I think they'll trade for players because they don't want prodigies of the young receiver.
But I could be wrong. They could see some receivers and use in the draft. I don't.
Super
I actually
Bowl,
don't.
Super Bowl aspirations, Super Bowl chances to get to another Super Bowl. How many years would you legitimately say they have with this? When you look at their skill players so far. So when you go back to the quarterback, he's 28 years old. When you go to their running back, he's 27 years old. When you go to the receivers, they're averaging 28 years old across the board. 28, 27, 28, and then 28, right? Even the tight end level, you're looking at guys that are 28, 29, and then they do have a young gunner here that's not going to play it down football for them. How much of a window do they have where they got to win right now, or they going to? Because this got to get blown up sooner or later, right?
I would say, yeah, it does. I would say this year, next year tops. Next year tops is like you get a draft class in there, maybe an explosive one that can spark some fuses under some guys, some plug and play players possibly, and could get you over the hump to get a Super Bowl ring. But other than that, then you're gonna have to get to a full blow mode. You guys,
can they turn this roster over without sacrificing dominance?
Depends on which way they turn it over. If they turn it over for maybe guys on contract or players that are just discarded by a team and offer draft picks or future draft picks or two, because these people have age, so you're trading for youth. So there's a lot of ways to approach it, honestly, but I think they're going to lose some dominance. It just depends on if the division can make it show. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can mask that kind of if the division doesn't give you barrels.
I think as long as the Chargers is in and out again with plan, I think they'll be fine. Because look, they could make the playoffs just by winning their division.
Yeah.
But they have to start turning this roster over eventually, going into real draft. They got to turn it over. But I just think they got the angle to do it. My question is, draft picks get you. Draft picks is like fucking crack in this league.
I was just about to say, yeah.
Draft picks is like crack in this league, so whenever they're ready to make that move, they can do it. I just, again, I just asked the question of the window. Because what they've done has been very successful because, again, they're real life. My thing is this, if you got real faces on your team and they're not high 90s, they got to be, to me, 95 and above. If they're not that, you wasting your time with them. Because, again, when you're dealing with age and guys that got longevity under them, start costing a lot for them to upgrade. So you need these guys, and he did it perfectly, right? Because those guys, I mean, it ain't gonna be a guy that we're gonna talk about that got a real face, that's an impact player for this team. That isn't a high 90, like somewhere between 95 and 99 overall already. At all, bro. You're not gonna see it, and that's why guys know what they're doing and they understand it. But he put himself in a situation like last year was his chance to win the Super Bowl because he got there. I still think he got a 3-year window to still do it and still get to a Super Bowl and still have a chance to win it. And I think he has. Think about this. If you give this man 3 years, right? If he gives himself those 3 years, you seen what he's done with trading. Could he trade his way into a roster that doesn't affect him on the loss column at all while he's still chasing the Super Bowl?
Any loss in his roster, I feel like, could diminish him getting to the Super Bowl.
I thought you needed one. All right, so let's.
I think he only has a 1 or 2 year turnover to year. Like
you think a 1 or 2 year turnover? I think 3. Here, I think 3. I think these guys can play into the, especially at a high level. They can still play at a high level into their 30s.
I think they'll still play at a high level, but I don't think they'll be Super Bowl caliber year 3. Honestly.
You know what I would be more scared of than anything? These guys not playing at a high level and they lose their abilities because they're 30 years old. Like, he has to have that in the back of his mind as well. And he has to be on some, like, really, because I just think he could trade his way into the players he needs right away. My thing is, can you do it and trade for the players you're gonna need, because he's not gonna replace his Jerry
got so
Jeudy.
many draft picks to trade away. You can't
But
trade your second.
but he can. I mean, he can trade them all away. Actually, swap them shits, whatever. Like, he can do some things. But see, ain't nothing wrong with that though, Max. Because you can use your first and your second. You can play in free agency. You lose your first and your second, right? You keep that as picks, and then the rest of those picks get rid of them, right? And you think you can't with the way our draft is set up, with you only got one first, one second. That third, fourth, and fifth round picks are valuable as fuck.
No, they definitely are.
So my thing is, you use your first and second round because he's the playoff team. Nobody's really gonna swap him picks when he's not picking. You're not picking. You're not moving. What you gonna move that in the draft? Literally, like go from 15 to 28, 31, somewhere like that, or what? So he can't do that. So, but he could get rid of that third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh for the next 3 years and put himself right back in the situation. I just think at the receiver position, the turnover, I don't think he's, maybe he drafted a receiver, cool, right? A guy that he could bring right in and go dummies with. But I do think that it's receivers in this league that, he can go get in a heartbeat and not lose what he get out of Jerry Jeudy or Jamar Chase or CD Lamb or even a Hamler. There's tight ends in this league right now that he can go get. Even though I do think the tight end position would be great for him to get a rookie, because they played. You don't really have that build curve on them. Like, they come out, they pretty solid already. You can kind of make them do things because of their position. But then we look at the offensive line. You got plenty of time here. Prince is left tackle. He's 29 years old. You're looking at Quinn Menez. He's 28 years old. His backup is 26. Eric McCoy is 30 years old. I mean, this guy tells you how good of a coach he really is coaching the game, because you're not looking at a dominant roster for our type of league. You know what I'm saying? Like, he moved his own way, and again, you're seeing all real face guys over here for the most part. And in the offensive line area, you got average of 28 across the board, age-wise. This whole team is that. But that just tells you he's been keeping these guys together too, and that's the reason why you see high overalls on these guys. B.J. Spitzer, Max, going through this offensive line. What do you see with this offensive line? This is a good offensive line, if you're looking at the right now. But what about the future?
Definitely troubles me for the future. It just forwards what I was saying, more 1 to 2 years, because what I'm saying, there's so much that you have to address with the age becoming a factor. Now, offensive linemen aren't as immediate, but in what they will not lack in age, quote unquote, being 31, 32, 30 available linemen, they will lack in natural threshold, where you'll have, defensive linemen naturally just out of their thresholds, compared to some of these older linemen. Right. So that could play into the factor.
All right. When you go to the defensive side of things, Bradley Chubb's been playing at a high level, 30 years old now. He's been in double-digit sacks down there every year at left end, but he's 30 years old. We need a backup there. Not really, because they got Gregory Rose, 27. I still think he'll ball, especially DNs. He'll ball out to about 33 years old. And then Elliot Dumerville right here, too, at 24 years old, and his 30-year-old superstar, solid there. So they are right there. Quentin Williams is here. You got Marquise Jackson, who's a plug-and-play, 95 overall. Get him on ability, and he's a good. See, this is a situation. He get a gift here. This is guys that can get that superstar on him real fast. But, I like the overall. Even the backup down here, Sharif Barnett, who's 1 year in, is a good 82 overall with the arrow pointing up. You can develop that. At outside linebacker, Bryce Ware is a man-child at 89 overall right now, only in his first year. Solid. You're looking at Clay Parker, year 2. Danny Hendricks, year 1. Good speed, good overalls right now. Got to get these guys developed a little bit more. But I think he's a little bit more comfortable on defense as far as age goes than he is on offense right now. Baron Browning's been playing solid for him at 98 overall. We don't see another middle linebacker there. He needs depth there for sure. Michael Battle, we traded for, 26 years old, dog. And then Noah Dawkins is at 30 years old. So this team is probably one of the oldest teams in the league so far, what I'm looking at right now. So they do need help, but they are young enough on defense at key positions to still be able to maintain some of the things they want to do over there. Vincent is 28, Patrick Surtain is 27. But they do got the young boy Abdul Talib sitting here. They got Shaquille Griffin they done brought in just to bring a veteran presence on the field. Aaron Robinson's here. They love to face this guy. Reggie Torrance, rookie. This is a good pickup. Short guy, but good pickup, 94 speed, 94 excel. Got, development project. He don't got to play now at all because of that. But when you look at the roster, this team can win. The experience, they can win right now, and they got a 2-year window right now. I mean, Cade Stearns at 27 years old. For the last couple of games, he had a 5-game interception. He had a 4 interception game and a 5 interception game this season alone. He's been a top safety his entire career as a Bronco. And then at the strong safety position, Damian Major stepped up to 6'2". You got Darrell Reedy, 6 foot, and then you got Brandon Stevens over here. Where I like the roster. This roster is good enough to win because the coach can win. I like the roster because they got veterans, but their window is now. I think the Broncos should, or I will hope, if I could read him a little bit, is thinking that, where we at right now is the next couple of seasons we try to win a Super Bowl. And then we'll figure it out after that. How much of missing drafts with this team, not really drafting players itself, hurts this team? Because imagine if he did what he did with this roster, but still drafted the picks he had instead of letting the computer do it. Draft the picks he had, and he probably could have had some of those older guys replaced already.
I definitely think he would have had some of the older guys replaced, and then I would still argue just trading consistent thirds. I'm cool with 4ths and 5ths, 6th, but consistent thirds where I really don't see where the trades have kind of like came to a pulp, kind of, as far as the the consistent mishaps of like the draft picks they've had.
I'm interested. He wants to follow this team now. I want to follow and see how they're going to come up out of this, because you are looking at a turnover that you're going to have to come up out of. And how can you still win the division and be, tops of this division? If you're the Chiefs, I think you get away with it because the Chargers they're up and down. The Raiders is the only active team over there who's still learning how to play in the league and play in franchise mode, but they're going to be in a way in a second. The Chiefs have the roster to be in a way, but the activity has to be there. And if we get a new coach in there for the Chiefs team, then we're in a situation, right? But if you're those 3 teams looking at the team that wins this division damn near every year, you're not super pressed at all, right? Like you're not looking at it like you can't really catch up to this team and really stop them from winning the division every year. I mean, I wouldn't look at it if I was any of those other teams right now without even looking at their rosters right now. I would think we're not that far away from this team, because while we're building right now, they're going to be starting over. And if they start over their build, we're already building there. And now we're going to look like them at the time they looking like us right now. You know what I mean? You get what I'm trying to say?
Not roster-wise, but you got to make sure your coaching is up to this coach.
But that's the thing. He's a really good coach, and I don't think people really realize how good of a coach he is, because he's not playing with the type of rosters we're playing with. The difference between a face guy and a non-face guy is they're built, and because they're built, they got core attributes that are just better than face guys. Simple as that. Because the face guys, we don't touch unless we give gifts out to them. The rookies and stuff that come out of the draft, they're edited players. They get made from our draft classes. So where they might have, you might got a receiver that got 95 speed, but because he's a real face guy, his agility might be at 87, versus that same 97 that's in the draft, his shit is a 94. You know what I'm saying? And that matters when it comes down to, lining up where everybody got this, same type of talent on the field. When you lining up, those little things matter. So I think we got to really, really give him kudos and give him his flowers on how good of a coach he actually is to be a top team in the AFC, on the AFC side, when he's not built better than, like at least 10, I would say 7 to 8 teams over here is built better than him.
The AFC side?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, teams built. Yeah, roster-wise, about 7, 8. But
and he outcoached everybody all the time.
That's just kudos to the coaching.
Yeah. All right, so let's keep it moving. I'm only going to talk about the actors first. We'll go back to the other roster. Matter of fact, we'll just go through them, right? All right, so this is what the Chiefs roster is sitting here. So it goes 2 ways. Either Coach Rich DeBarber get his shit together and show us his activity like he has been back, I would say the last 2 seasons he hasn't been as active as he has been. But the Patrick Mahomes era is over. The moment he threw me, when I played Rich and Rich threw me 10 interceptions with Patrick Mahomes, I knew it was over with for Patrick Mahomes. But they got a baby Patrick on their bench right now. That Mark Robinson at 6'2", 250 pounds out of Oklahoma. 97 throw power, 86 speed, 90 acceleration. He's probably legitimately the replacement of Patrick Mahomes. 92 change of direction. 82 strength. You know, got to get his throwing up and get him out of the red. But the red is there because he's not playing his games, and his team is, you know, they're losing again. Their ass is whipped, so they're on decline mode right now. But if you're a coach and you're looking at this team, at the quarterback position, you might not be uncomfortable because you got Patrick Mahomes, and most people will come in and think, all right, I know Patrick Mahomes is 31 years old, but it's still Patrick Mahomes, and he's really only 31 years old. I can get some years out of him. Or you're going to come over here and be like, well, they got a nice little quarterback already. I don't got to worry about that right now because they got a guy that got a fucking gun right now. So then I'll keep looking and say, what else this team has? Hilaire's 28 years old. He's still an active running back for this team. But you know, to me, it runs through Kendrick Watt and Mitch Hunt right now. Watt got really good speed. He looks like a chief. You know what I mean? He runs like a chief with that type of speed. 96, 98 acceleration. Again, if I'm a coach looking to take this team over, I don't feel like I'm in a bad situation looking at the quarterback position and the running back position. Then when you get to the receivers, you're looking at a Tyreek Hill, Nick Candy, 6'4", 177. At 6'4", with McCall Hardman's speed right now, 97, 97, solid there. You got Jerry Joseph, 5'11". He has 95 speed, or 96, 96 right now. Reek dropped down to a 96 speed, 96 excel at 33 years old. But you got guys, Montel Vincent, right? Deontay Davis. They all got guys with good speed over here. So I'm not looking at this roster as a bad roster. I'm looking at it like, all right, let's just get this thing active over here. The one thing they do have is a monster tight end. They replaced Kelsey the moment they drafted this tight end. Flat out, I know a Gray's been here, but this kid, Eric Middlebrooks, is a dog. Flat out dog. And I would look at this piece as a nice little puzzle piece to have right now. And look at the offensive line. Orlando Brown's getting up there in age. They do have Luke Randolph here, Damian Wesley, another rookie there. So you're good at left tackle. You look at the left guard situation. Frank Covington, a rookie. They're solid there. Nice little rookie. I ain't mad at that. At center, looking at Joey Teller in his third season. I think you need help there. Center position for sure. Trey Smith at 28, you need help here too, but he's 28, you can get around that with him. And then at right tackle, you're looking at Lucas Nang, in my opinion, at 81, 29 years old, 81 overall. You want to upgrade this position right here. Now, you want to upgrade it, but then you go back to this left tackle group, and you see you got high 80s everywhere. So really, those two positions I said they needed to upgrade, they have it on their roster already. Because the one thing about offensive linemen, they're interchangeable. You can draft a left tackle and play him at center. You can actually draft a left tackle and play him anywhere along that line. So they're good there. Defensively, the Chiefs always had a problem on the game defensively. Eric Bowden is up for awards right now, 26 years old in his fifth year. Bryce Mitchell is 22 years old, 86 overall, solid. We're looking at the ends, Joshua Kando at 28, but then they got Mathis French, who they drafted, Matthias French, who they drafted a year ago, solid ass player, with a superstar on him. Keep developing him, he's a dog. So Max, so far I'm showing you this roster. If you're a coach, you're not really that mad coming into this roster, right? If you're a coach ready to take this team over, you're not looking at this team like we got a lot of work to do.
No, not at all. We got a lot of upside. Guys working on beginning of second contracts, or some guys still within the first contract. So I mean, that's a good look to always have.
Since Chris Jones has left this roster, to me they replaced it with two different players, Jalen Samuel and Gio Golston. Both look 6'5", 345, 335, or 6'5 dogs. They're good there. Now, the linebacker core, in my opinion, got better for this team. Cliff Oldham, 6'5", 255, 91 overall, 89 speed, 89 excel. Solid there. You will want ability, but solid there. Devin Ward, Terminator, one of the best tacklers in the league. And then you're dealing with Ben Middleton, who was the #1 overall linebacker in his draft class. He's a 93 overall right now, 93 speed, 92 excel. He's a monster. So you're kind of good there too. Then you look at Rayshawn Wheatley, probably need help here. You got good speed on these guys. You know, they're not great speed, but good enough speed to make it happen. I think the right outside linebacker they need help with for sure. Now you look at the cornerback room. Raymond Daniels at 6'2", solid. You got Sergio Hancock, superstar, at 6'3", that's solid. Brett Franklin, a rookie, 85 overall, 6202 out of West Virginia. 93 speed, 93 excel. He got 83 press with the green arrow up. Get these guys out of the red, and you're dealing with some situations right now. I like their cornerback room. At the safeties, Mitch Hargrove, 6'3", 217, can play the sub linebacker as well. Carlos Fort can play back deep as well. So here we go. Looking at the strong safety, Marcus Booker. We're looking at a guy, 90 speed, 90 excel at 6'4", solid. Antoine Ball, rookie, 91, 91, 6206, solid. All right. I like the Chiefs roster. It's an upside to this roster. That means that if somebody can start playing, or the coach get it together, start playing his games, I think at the development stage, he has the pieces on his roster to develop. And I would look at my roster and say, you know what? You know, outside of the Broncos just being a more veteran football team, we're in a good situation, man. We're in a good situation. When those guys get a little too old and they start to decline, we should be able to jump on top of this division again. But it comes down to what they do at that quarterback position. Is Mahomes finished? Or, you know, can he be revived like they did Josh Allen in Buffalo? All right, the next team on this list is the Chargers, and we'll take a look at them. You know, they're steady. Their quarterback has been a top 10 quarterback in this league when he is actively playing right now. He's 29. You still got him for a couple more seasons. I'm not mad at that. But when you see the red arrows down, it's because the coach is not playing their game or they're losing. Saquon Barkley, to me, was a wasted trade for this team. They really haven't really used Saquon at all. Saquon has became a receiver when he became a Charger, and in his years with the Chargers, let's just look at the decline of production. As a New York Giant since 2021, 2,000 yards, 2,000 yards, 2,000 yards, 2,000 yards. Now let's go back down to 21. 22 touchdowns, 23 touchdowns, 21 touchdowns, 21 touchdowns. Then he goes to L.A. and has an 1,163 yard, 195 carry, but he had 26 touchdowns. So he was kind of productive in the year one with the Chargers. But then after that, you know, 2,000. I mean, no more 2,000 yards. But he gave him 238 carries, 1,052, 4.4. His average went down, touchdowns went down, and everything. My thing is, was this a lost pick? Like, they gave up draft picks for this guy. Did they get it wrong here with Saquon Barkley?
Unbiasedly, if I was a LA Chargers fan, I would definitely feel like when you got Saquon with Bryce, Pierre, right before caught Young, you could have been a Super Bowl team, and then you picked up a defensive piece like Caught Young and some other guys. Even right now, Saquon at 29, 30 with the roster, that fast receiver, he just picked up some other shit. He could be in a situation called flat out, but, you know, when Saquon gets dropped to X Factor level and not a 2,000-yard back anymore, or at least a premier back anymore, I think it did kind of just flatten out the team's purpose. It's like they still didn't really acquire a run game ever.
Right. This team really doesn't want to run the ball. They want to throw it around the park and all that. As you can see, Saquon numbers as a receiver went up since he left the Giants to 50 catches a season versus, you know, 20 with the Giants. So, you know, shout out there. Now, at the receiver position, Jermaine Pierre, I think he lost a year by not playing last year with him. But this is an animal at receiver. Tylan Wallace has been here, 28 years old. Nice little trade from year one. But then they draft Rashawn Hendricks, the speedster, from out of Miami at 6'3", 220. So I like their top two receivers with Tylan being a nice little slot receiver for them. But outside of that, there's nobody there that can help them. The rest of them is just roster fillings. Bryce Moss is everything. We know what Bryce Moss is for this team. We know what he can do for this team. He's everything at the tight end position. He's still young enough to be a monster over there. You got Rashawn Slater at 28 years old. That's solid. Left tackle. At left guard, you got Scotty Burton, 86 overall, no abilities. At center, Colin Downing, no abilities, 70 overall. Walker Little, abilities, 91 overall. Clayton Sweet, abilities, so that makes up for that left guard. And then at right tackle, you got Brett Hartman. So I think they got a solid line, you know what I mean? Because again, where they don't have a superstar, they can get a guy off the bench to really actually start. I'm quite sure that's what they did. But Caught Young is an animal. Colt Young is an animal. 89 speed, 95 acceleration. This guy's everything. 91 block shed. He's a dog. You know, get him out of the red, and everything else takes his runs his course. Noah Hutton, I don't see him.
Shut the
Pat
fuck up.
Roll. So here go their two guys, right? Pat Roll, you know, plays. You know, remember they got rid of Bosa, saved them some money and cap space and all that. Let him go on free agency, but then Pat Roll is playing one end and Carl is playing the other end, so they solid there. Remember, Chris Rump from the linebacker level plays with his hand in the dirt a lot too, so it's really him and Colt Young coming off the edges, so I like that. At D tackle, they got a dog in Nicholas Amos from the first draft class. He a dog. They drafted Trayvon Sullivan, rookie, 74 overall. Let's see what he is on normal like a motherfucker, so I don't see how much play he will get. Dorian Etheridge, we remember him, Max. You got him out of free agency. He had a 1-year rental with him. He's had him for a couple seasons now, so he must have got him out of regular free agency. Off-season free agency, I mean, because he got him on his roster for a while now. Kenneth Murray was an animal at 28 years old. Braxton Hawkins will be a dog if we can get ability on him somehow. Right outside linebacker, there it is, Chris Rump. The thing with Chris Rump, though, he plays better with his hand in the dirt than he does as an outside linebacker, trying to drop and cover and shit. This guy can get after the quarterback in the worst way. All right, Zach Lofton back up. And you got another speedster, and Jeremy Kilgore, who to me plays safety, and you brought him down to outside linebacker. I think it was smart. I'm mad at this because you need help at that linebacker level. Cornerbacks, they got dogs over here. Clyde Sampson, they traded for Byron Murphy at the end of last year. Dante Samuel's still here. Vernon McElroy's still here. All right, you're looking at Zach Henderson, 6'2", but then they go Floyd Pickett. I thought they drafted another cornerback. Maybe they did, and that's why they traded for Murphy Joyner. Andrew Joyner, 82. So Max, when you look at this Charger roster, can you see the effects of them not rocking out?
Definitely the effects.
I can't hear you, bro.
I said I definitely see the effects of it, but kind of what's been drafted over here, I'm not confused on what's been drafted.
It's been offensive weapons. All you see is receivers, and it's hit and miss on the receivers. You got Jermaine Pierre was a great draft pick, and then you got the fucking other receiver they just drafted this year, and then it's the tight end. Colt Young was picked up when they didn't draft. The computer did that for them the year before when they was on tank mode. I don't see it either. You don't really see it over here, you know, at all. You know, Larry Jones is 1 year. Maybe this was a drafted player for him. And Brian Kemp is in his second year. With Darwin James being 31 years old right now and not being dropped, Darwin James. So this roster, the one thing I could say, they're another good coach over here, but don't put a good team together at all. And I think he loses to the top teams because of that reason. Not putting a good team together year in and year out, and they've been in the league way too long not to be able to figure that out, how to put a team together over here. And it's not that he don't know what he's doing. It's just he's, when you don't do things, participate in the drafts and, manage your team, right? This is what happens. Now you lining up against guys and they airing you and you mad at the game and you think there's some bullshit going on. But really, you just don't got the horses to keep up with their horses.
And as I was about to say, that could be for some of the, some of the frustration. Honestly, you're not making it easy for yourself. You're stressing your coaching. He's stressing his coaching, I would say 50%.
You better get some upstairs, dog. I'm about to send you upstairs before you be quiet.
His roster is about 50% worse than the top 8 teams in the AFC. As far as roster
he got one of the worst rosters in the league
right now. Yeah, flat out. So for him to be successful them 2 years where he was winning the division. You know what I'm saying?
That's coaching, bro. Just flat out coaching.
Which is also stress, though, because you don't recognize that your roster's doing bad because of how good your coaching is until it happens. And when you realize your roster is bad, you're already a season too late.
Yeah.
Flat out.
Now, but the thing is, Corey can come right in and fix this, because here's the thing. At this point, he's about to have 2 draft classes where he had top 10 picks. 2.
Exactly.
And every round. So last year he had a top 10 pick. Where is it? Where's the players?
Colt Young was first round, I think.
No, he drafted Colt Young the year before. And Colt Young Clark Young is in his second year. I'm talking about the draft we just had. Clark Young got drafted. Let's see where he got drafted at.
That was last year. He got drafted last year.
No, he didn't. They would say rookie
Not
next
like,
on.
okay, not this last year.
I'm talking about this last draft. So here's his first round pick right here. Pick 24, Clark Young. But I'm talking about this year. Who's his? He picked like number 5 or 6 in this draft, right? Last year he was like number 6 or 7. Let's look at the roster and find out who his rookies are.
Didn't he change it to the Chargers?
All right, here goes pick right here. This is the number 1 pick right here, top 10 pick right here. Rayshawn Hendricks, the speed burner at 6'3". He picked him in round. He had the number 9 pick in every round. So Rayshawn Hendricks was picked up in the first round. Superstar. No, he was a star. He ain't even a superstar. Am I right? No, he wasn't even a superstar. He's a guy with just great speed on star. Look, yep, star. So with the 9th pick, you gotta, but you can, at the receiver position, that doesn't matter in my opinion. I think, they're the easiest way to build these guys, especially the way he throw the ball. He's solid there. So now you go look at Clayton Sweet. Here's another rookie. This is the win. They picked up this had to be their second round pick. They picked up a nice little dog. All right, who the next one? So second round pick. So he got a good pick there. So his first 2 picks I'm not mad at. Because that ability gets sacrificed over that speed. That speed will get you right to the ability fast. What about Andrew Joyner? When did he pick him? And then Jeremy Kilgore on normal. He was a safety that got turned to a linebacker.
He traded the 3rd for Byron. Fourth.
Nah, he ain't had no 3rd. I think you had his shit.
I had his 3rd. Yeah, I had his 3rd. See? I did.
I mean, again, I would say, when he is active and he's playing, it's good coaching that goes on over here. But this roster really, isn't top shelf. The shit can't really, and maybe this is why, the Broncos can dominate this division because he has a better roster than him too. So the year he won them things too, you had some transitioning going on with the Broncos as well. But that was just coaching at the end of the day. The coaching and Bryce Moss being a weapon that, guys wasn't used to, being able to stop a tight end like that could do everything for a team. Period. So they are solid at cornerback, but they need help everywhere. Like, they damn near need help at every position on this team over there. He can do it though, man. Cause look, he get to have another top 10 pick. He better win on those picks or trade out of it. All right, let's get to Las Vegas. Where them Raiders at? The Raiders. All right, so when you deal with this Raider team, the first thing you want to do is you would say, oh my God, it goes to QB1 Joe Parker. But it doesn't. Joe Parker is great. Don't get it twisted. The number 5 overall pick in the draft ago. Great quarterback to have. This is your franchise quarterback going forward. He's dual threat. He plays perfect for your system. Love the pick. But this team runs through Jermaine Bass. Bottom line. This team goes through a player that was already on this team, and it's smart that he decided to use this guy at 24 years old. He ain't wasting a 6'1", 230-pound running back that can do it all. Break tackles, outrun you. He can do a lot of stuff with this running back with 96 speed, 97 excel. He's a speed burner as well. This guy's a monster, so you're good there. My thing is, do we have a receiver? He got good receivers on this roster, but are we in a situation where they run the ball way too much? This is like we're watching the rebirth of the old Nano.
I don't know why this team traded Henry Ruggs. Flat out. Because this is what they need right now. Not like...
They kind of got it, though. They have it right here on their team.
But in the sense of...
Remember, Henry Ruggs wasn't built. He didn't get built till he got to the Bucks. Henry Ruggs was still low 80s, high 70s shit. You know what I mean?
I guess.
They got the weapons though. I like the first 2 with the speed situation, and then I love this DeAndre Winslow kid right here too. They got receivers, they just got to use them. But this is upside. Imagine having this going into the future right now.
Yeah, this is definitely upside.
Just right away, quarterback dog, right, backup dog, all under, all young, Bass dog. You keep going. Josh Jacobs shouldn't be at fullback at all. He got yes he is, 220. Okay, lucky.
I was about to say, now he asked me about that.
220. Fucking gain 2 pounds. Uh-oh. Weight gate. Weight gate. Oh, my God. But I like the receivers. They got height. They got speed over here. Good job. All right, when you look at the tight end, they go and get themselves a tight end this year, and Will Clements. Now, the way they play offense over there, this is perfect for how they need a tight end. They need a guy that can, kill you on play action when you're coming off that run game. I love this.
I like this tight end. 6'5". I wish he was a little bit more athletic, but I like his catching traffic, special catch. Looks like he could do a little route running.
I like him. All right, look at the offensive line. Here we go. Holt Miller, 31 years old. Okay, Moorman, superstar we need to develop. Deb Joseph, like it, 96 overall, 26 years old, dog. Bryce Kirkpatrick, 97 overall, 26 years old, dog. There we go. I like this. For 40 love, they go get the linemen of the linemen of this draft. This pick is like Pat Falk. That Pat Falk pick you made.
This nigga's good as hell.
Oh my God, 40 love, boy.
55, only 2 sacks, set up on the year, right guard.
40 love, bro.
That's how you do it right there.
Pick 25 is great pick. Oh my God. He take you into your future. You could probably kick him out the fucking. To be honest, you could probably kick him out the left tackle if you wanted to. He's that good.
That's his best lineman right now on his team.
Right now. Oh my God, dog. Yeah. J.J. Ramsey, and then you got Sheldon Moorhead. So they got another rookie in this draft. Like, this is how you do it, man. Good shit, bro.
That's why I said that's how
you do shit. It. Yeah. Good shit. This is how you do it, man. This takes you into the future. Get ready for the now and the later. Now I'm talking about like real talk. All right, let's look at the defensive end side of things right now. Max Crosby, we need help there. Zimmerman, I don't like the DNs at all. Mills is solid, really good player, and Roman Sherman. Now I like the DNs because you could put both of these guys on the field at the same time. Wait a minute, how old was that kid? I just showed 21. Rookie. You got dog 6'4", 280. I like it. I like it a lot. So they built and they addressed their needs. So now they got 2 guys that, you know, with the potential to be elite pass rushers off the edge. At D tackle, you got Jermaine Wedderburn, super solid, 99 overall at 25 years old. Willie Brown sitting right here, a nice little trade from the Bucks, sitting here at 92 overall. 80 speed, 85 excel. Anytime you got a 6'8", this is like Calais Campbell, 6'8", 310. That's how Calais Campbell was built. He could, but I don't think you need to. I like the rookie that they drafted over that DN. I think you can really just forward down linemen these guys and let them go to work. Simple as that. All right, the linebacker core. Here we go. Sidney Lamb, 85 speed. Now they don't have super speed at the linebacker level that I see so far, but Sidney Lamb is a good linebacker. I mean, he's solid. If you look at, you know, the things you need to look at as an outside linebacker, were kind of cool. What do you look like in the coverage? 82 zone, 75 man, like it. Only in 2 years of experience. Middle linebacker, Roshan Lyons, where we at 88 speed. All right, so now look, they might not have no 90 plus speed guys, but you know, I like Roshan Lyons. And then you got Bobby O'Reek to sit there and be a mentor. Javier Thorpe, dog. And you got Bernard Smith. Nice little 27-year-old. Get ability there, you're good. He's watching the show now. That might be a guy you can trust. This guy made it to the playoffs last year with not one corner on this team that had abilities. Now he has a few. Mark Wilson was traded for. Smart move, right? You got Trayvon Mullen, 29 years old, but Matt Foote, another player that they had over here that got the ability put on him. Duke DeLoach got solid speed. Got to get these guys developed, though. Woozy lost his ability, and Godfrey is 29 years old. They still need another corner on this roster. Like, they need to either get it in the draft or trade for it. I like Sean Hackett, but he only can play back deep. 90 speed, 88 excel. Got to get him, you know, try to get him develop some more, but he's solid. Trayvon Moore-Ridge is who he is. And then that strong safety, you're looking at Rasheem Yates, picked up in free agency. Will Suttle sitting here, 89 speed, 89 excel. And then Jonathan Abraham, old ass, is a mentor. I like this roster. They're in a situation where they got a better upside than most of the teams in that division right now. So it comes down to this. Can the Broncos remain dominant while they go through a roster makeover, while they turn in the roster over? Can they remain dominant? Then you're looking at the Chargers and the Chiefs. Chargers got the worst roster in the league. They're a good coach, but they get this thing fixed if they just get active and really give us the same run we talking about the Broncos got. The Chargers need to get that run themselves. 3 years of really locking in and getting their GM on. The Chiefs just need an active coach. I think they got a solid roster. Active coach can turn their team around and have them back to winning ball games if the coach gets active or we get a new coach over there, depending on what happens. And the Raiders have the biggest upside of anybody over there right now. He just got to get his coaching on. Simple as that. You got to coach your talent. Simple as that. So whatever situation you need to do to put them in, coach your talent. The one thing I don't like about the Raiders is they got a host of receivers over there that could be dogs that's not being used at all. That would be my only downfall on them. Everywhere else, they building, they putting it together. Only had 2 off seasons. What is his second off season? Going into year 3 is when they start looking at him as, all right, coach, you haven't had 3 years. Your contract is coming up. What are you? Are we hiring you back or are we getting rid of your ass? And right now, they was ahead of schedule. They made the playoffs and won a playoff game. So the coach get to put that on his belt and hold that weight when he go in there looking for a new contract. Well, I did something that you didn't expect me to do, which is get us a playoff win that you haven't had, even sniffed the playoffs before I got here. So that holds weight when you're thinking about firing or hiring something. Get the fuck out of here with that, because I'm here and I'm here to stay. Other than that, that's the rosters. Max, spin the wheel so we can come back on the next show tomorrow and talk about the next division. What division we're talking about next?
Spinning. Let's see.
While you spinning, you get an idea of what guys are doing in this league, how they build, what they building. No matter how you doing it, whether you buy a package from me, whether you building your team yourself, I don't know. However you move, you better be actively moving. You have to be a good GM to survive in my league. Simple as that. Or you got to be a hell of a fucking coach. Simple as that. You got to be a hell of a coach, or you got to be a hell of a GM, because he taking guys like me and Falk and some of these guys to the wire where you barely could beat the guy, and his roster ain't even nowhere near up to par to us. Because I can honestly say he lose to me the way he lose to me because my roster is just better than his.
The team I got is the Buccaneers.
So we're going to the NFC South tomorrow. On my way to South. I mean, are we driving there, catching the plane? What we on? We meeting up? Because we got stops to make it. We're going to drive. I want to drive, bro. I don't feel like flying this time around. I'm on my John Madden shit, man. Let's get on the bus, grind it out, and stop through state. Stop through state to state, see what's going to happen. Because we got to take trips, man. We got to take the trips, man. Look, you see where we ended up. We in Vegas. What we doing tonight? I left my girl at home. Fuck that. I'm in Vegas tonight. What happens in Vegas, stay in Vegas. I'm jumping in and out of guts all night. And I'm buying that shit. Paying for it, coach. Paying for it. I ain't there, no. I ain't going to be on a 3-year run and no ass and got bread in my pocket. Nope. Not going to be me. Other than that, man, I appreciate y'all for all watching. Now, let's talk about it. Hoodie and Foe will be getting an extra upgrade with their upgrade. Everybody else, send y'all shit over to Max, and I'll get to it. Simple as that. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I might come through and DM you and say, all right, Max sent you on the list. Here's what I'm giving out. Who do you want it on? You might better tell me. Or I might go through and do what I want to do. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out.
Don't hit me up about that shit.
Soon.
I'm not the one giving it.
All I want to know is Hollywood Sean is watching right now, and he type his name in the chat right now. I got a +10 for him. Why you be checking us out so fast, bro? Yo, how many games left from King Man so I can whoop him my ass? Ain't it advanced night?
It is. Yo, Rob.
Look at all this shit over here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Man, butt breakouts. Oh my god. That shit about, they already advanced.
They already advanced?
Shit ready to go down. I got breakout to breakout over there. Offensive breakout. Cold opponent, game plan, elite quarterback. Shit ready to go down. I'm about to play over here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dolphins. Told you the Vikings not here.
Where you at, Hollywood? I'm only bullshitting around because I'm trying to give you some time. Nope.
But yeah, don't.
Nah, because he just come through just fast enough to put his name in there, then he bounced, bro. I hate that shit. Niggas don't never be watching.
A couple niggas did that
Because
shit.
Falk looking for him, too. Saying he'd have played his game tonight, he'd have got an upgrade there.
Breakout tandem.
See what I'm talking about? Niggas doing some bullshit. Where you at, Hollywood? Hollywood. 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 Alright, fellas, man. Appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all before lunchtime tomorrow on the next show. We going where again, Max? NFC South? Oh, shit. That means we got to ride all the way down to Tampa Bay. That's where we stop at first, right?
Shit, if we in Vegas, shit, we gonna stop at New Orleans first, then ATL, then the Panthers, then we gonna go down to Florida.
All right, I'm cool with that.
Get your flight out to Florida to anywhere, damn near.
All right, so we are taking a flight out of Florida. We're going to Florida last. All right, cool. Hey man, is Big Booty Judy still in Florida?
Shit, probably.
All right, holla at y'all.